Psycho-Cybernetics. Reprogram your mind for success. Imagine standing in front of a mirror and realizing that the person staring back at you is not the one holding you back. It's the image of that person in your mind. You see, we all live not by the reflection in the mirror, but by the reflection in our imagination. This idea changed millions of lives, and it all began with one man, Dr. Maxwell Maltz. Dr. Maltz wasn't a psychologist. He was a plastic surgeon, one of the best in his time. Every day, he helped people change their faces, fix scars, or correct deformities. And yet, something didn't make sense to him. Some of his patients would leave his clinic completely transformed, not just in appearance, but in confidence. They walked taller, smiled more, spoke freely, and seemed reborn. But others, even after perfect surgery, couldn't feel any different. They still saw themselves as unattractive, unworthy, or broken. Their outer world had changed, but their inner image stayed the same. That discovery shook him. He began to study the mind with the same curiosity he once used for surgery. He realized that inside each of us lies a powerful picture, a mental portrait of who we believe we are. This picture silently controls how we act, how we react, what we attempt, and what we avoid. He called it the self-image. The self-image is like a blueprint. It determines what we build in our lives. If the blueprint is small, our actions remain small. If it's damaged, our confidence collapses. And if it's healthy and strong, we can create greatness. The truth is, every success or failure begins not in the real world, but inside this inner model of ourselves. Dr. Maltz discovered that our brain functions much like a cybernetic machine. That's where the term psycho-cybernetics comes from. Psycho refers to the mind, and cybernetics refers to the control systems used in machines. Think of a guided missile or an autopilot system. Once it's given a target, it automatically moves toward it, adjusting itself whenever it goes off course. Your mind works the same way. When you set a goal clearly in your imagination and believe in it deeply, your subconscious begins to guide you toward it. It finds paths, ideas, and opportunities you might never have noticed before. But when you program it with negative beliefs, I can't, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve this, it will guide you away from success, even when opportunities stand right in front of you. This invisible guidance system never turns off. It's always working. The question is whether it's working for you or against you. And the answer depends entirely on the image you hold of yourself. Maltz realized that people don't act according to facts. They act according to their beliefs about themselves. A man who sees himself as a failure will find a way to fail, no matter how talented he is. A person who believes she's confident will walk into a room and automatically behave that way. Life simply mirrors back the image we hold within. The most astonishing thing Maltz found was that this image could be changed. The brain is not a fixed machine, it's a learning system. You can reprogram it by changing the pictures you feed it every day. You can literally create a new version of yourself through imagination, repetition, and faith in possibility. He started teaching his patients mental exercises. Instead of focusing on what they didn't like about themselves, he asked them to close their eyes and imagine how they wanted to look, how they wanted to move, speak, and feel. Day after day, they began to form a clear, positive mental picture. And slowly, their behavior began to change. They stood differently. They spoke with more confidence. They smiled more often. Their reality began to match their imagination. Maltz realized that the human brain cannot tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. If you imagine failure, your body and mind prepare for it. If you imagine success, your subconscious begins to act in alignment with that picture. That's why great athletes visualize their victories before competing. It's not superstition, it's science. The mind rehearses the act before the body performs it. But to unlock this power, you must learn to relax the mind. You can't reach the subconscious when you're anxious, tense, or full of fear. Maltz discovered that relaxation was like the key that opened the door to self-transformation. He encouraged people to take a few minutes every day to sit quietly, breathe slowly, and enter a calm, peaceful state. In that state, you can imagine your ideal self with full emotional clarity. You can see yourself acting confidently, achieving your goals, and handling challenges with grace. This quiet visualization rewires the neural pathways that shape your behavior. Psycho-Cybernetics teaches that failure is never final. It's feedback. Just like a guided missile adjusts its course after missing the target, our mistakes help us refine our direction. Instead of feeling defeated by errors, we should treat them as lessons that guide us closer to success. The key is to never lose sight of the target, the image of who we want to become. One of Maltz's most powerful lessons is that we must forgive ourselves. The past exists only in memory, but many people live trapped inside their old failures. They replay the same painful experiences, reinforcing the same limiting identity. Every time they recall a mistake, they strengthen the belief that they're not good enough. But when you forgive yourself, you break that loop. You stop feeding your mind negative commands and start programming it for growth. He wrote, "You make mistakes. Mistakes don't make you." That single sentence carries the core of his philosophy. You are not your past. You are the creator of your present self-image, and therefore, your future. As people began applying these ideas, incredible transformations happened. Athletes improved their performance. Salespeople doubled their results. Artists, leaders, and ordinary individuals discovered confidence they never knew they had. They realized that success wasn't about working harder. It was about thinking differently. When you change your inner picture, your outer world begins to align automatically. Imagine starting each day by closing your eyes and seeing yourself already successful, calm, focused, capable. You visualize your goals as if they're already true. You speak kindly to yourself. You walk with confidence, and slowly, this imagined version of you becomes your reality. You begin to notice how situations shift in your favor, how people respond differently, how fear starts to fade. That's not magic, that's psycho-cybernetics at work. The book reminds us that happiness isn't something we chase after, it's something we allow. It's the natural state of a healthy self-image. When you stop fighting with yourself, and start accepting your worth, peace flows naturally. Maltz's message echoes through generations because it speaks to something eternal, the human desire to grow, to believe, to become. We all have the power to design who we are. We can rebuild confidence, renew purpose, and reshape destiny. You don't need to change your face, your background, or your circumstances. You only need to change the way you see yourself. The moment you believe in a new image of who you can be, everything else in your life starts to follow that picture. So if you feel stuck, lost, or unworthy, take a deep breath and remember, the person you want to be already exists within you. Close your eyes and see them clearly. See the confidence, the calm, the strength, the success. Live that picture every day until it becomes the only version of you that feels real. Dr. Maxwell Maltz's discovery wasn't just a theory, it was a doorway. It showed us that the mind, once understood, can be programmed for happiness, success, and peace. The system is always running. It's time to take control of what you've programmed it to believe. Because in the end, life doesn't respond to what you wish for, it responds to what you see yourself as. And when you finally see yourself as capable, deserving, and unstoppable, that's exactly who you become. As Maltz once wrote, "You are not your mistakes. You are not your past. You are the person who can change your self-image. And by doing that, you can change your entire life." If you found this video helpful and inspiring, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us keep creating more powerful lessons like this one. And remember, the real change starts in your mind. So keep reprogramming your thoughts and keep growing every day.